We talk about team. We talk about winning as a team. This team won as a team. Oh my goodness. If you are one of the people who saw that the starters were out and you decided to miss this game, I hope you cry into a pillow tonight because you deserved it. The Toronto Raptors make the very unconventional move. The media was completely complaining about it, that they were going to rest all 5 starters tonight in their home opener. The first game they've played in almost 6 months. Brandon Ingram's Toronto debut, they delayed it. And you know what? If you're someone who actually bought tickets to tonight's game, hoping to watch Brandon Ingram, hoping to watch Scotty Barnes, hoping to watch Jakob Poeltl, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, etc., I got to tell you, I think you got a better game than you bargained for. And I'm going to let you know that this game was all heart, all hustle, all the time. It wasn't pretty at times. The Toronto Raptors got behind big time. They were down by over 20, but towards the end of the game, some very unlikely heroes emerged. And those heroes are about to get a lot of credit and a lot of kudos. I hope you DVR'd this one. I hope you DVR'd this one, man. Nick Laugh saying this was ugly and fun. It was ugly. It was scrappy. It was fun. It was real team basketball. And it's exactly how the Toronto Raptors want to play. And it took Jared Rhoden, Chucky Hepburn, David Roddy. David Roddy finally got into the game. David Roddy. Really excited about David Roddy, actually. I love this game. Give this video a like if you love this game. Let's see if we can get this video up to 300 likes. Let's prove it to the people who decided to skip this game that this community rocks with team basketball. Let's get to this. It wasn't just about the bench, obviously. Up. Am I having connectivity issues? Thank you, Rogers. Thank you for the worst internet in the history of the world. I think there's someone in a hut in Haiti who gets better internet than I do with Rogers Telecommunications. They really should knock telecommunications out of their name. They're very, very bad at it. Chris Boucher's return to Toronto. If you were in town to watch Chris Boucher play for the Celtics, you got a very scrappy Chris Boucher performance. He drew charges, he ran in transition, he got some dunks, he hit some threes. Typical Chris Boucher shit. And he was a plus 22. And the Celtics starters absolutely decimated the Toronto Raptors starters, with the exception of really Anthony Simons and Neemias Queta. When they had Josh Minott and Chris Boucher and Peyton Pritchard on the floor, the Celtics were very good. Everybody else, with the exception of maybe Hugo Gonzalez, their second-round rookie, who I love, by the way, got whooped by the Toronto Raptors. Shoutouts to Dan, new member. Shoutouts to you, Dan. You're good, Pen? I'm great. Do I sound okay? Let me know. Audio, video, we good? Okay. In terms of the Toronto Raptors, the Raptors did start Colin Murray-Boyles, rookie Colin Murray-Boyles. They started Sandro Mamukelashvili. They started Ochai Agbaji, Jamal Shed, and Grady Dick, who Matt Devlin called silky smooth dick. Those were the words, silky smooth dick, 4 times. Matt Devlin, man, pause, bro. Come on. Like, what are we doing? I think he's doing it on purpose at this point. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's doing it on purpose. But Grady Dick didn't have the greatest start to this game, but man, did he turn it around. In that third quarter, he really kept the Raptors connected and really helped to drive them back. And this comeback came in waves, because towards the end of the second quarter, it looked like this game was absolutely over. Like the Raptors were ready to get smoked by 45. And you might be one of those people thinking like, was this really a bright idea to gift your, faithful fans who paid for tickets, gift them a 40-point blowout to start out your season? But maybe Darko Rajakovic knew what his team was made of, or maybe he knew what the Boston Celtics G Leaguers weren't made of. Because when those lineups cleared out and when the starters went to the bench, the Raptors went to a lineup, earlier on. Jacoby Walter had a really tough game. Let's just talk about all the players. Sandro Mamukelashvili missed every single 3. I still think he played relatively well, but it wasn't as great as it's been playing off of Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett. He was asked to do a little bit more tonight. I think he struggled. Colin Murray-Boyles started out amazingly, left, unfortunately, with an injury, did not come back in the second half. Jacoby Walter gets to start for him in the second half. Ochai Agbaji did Ochai Agbaji things, hit a corner three, standstill corner three, got some, looks in transition. The Raptors really pumped the pace tonight. Grady got pitch aheads. Jamal Shed threw him. Chucky Hepburn threw him. Like, I was very impressed with how relentless the Raptors were in terms of executing the game plan. And the game plan was run it down their throat, pressure, run. And honestly, this is what it was. It was all about pressure and it was all about running. And like, I think Grady Dick had a very good game overall in terms of shot making, in terms of some athletic finishes at the basket. We're going to take a look at some of those plays. We're going to do a little bit of a film breakdown as well. Jamison Battle had himself a game. He took 8 shots, 8 threes, hit 4 of them. What more can you ask for Jamison Battle? Totally fine. I didn't love the defense at times. I don't know. Hard to nitpick. Jacoby Walter also took 8 shots. Unlike Jamison Battle, however, he missed all 8 of them. Of the 8 that he took, I have no problem with 7 of the shots that he took. So he just missed them tonight. He had himself, and unfortunately, a Scotty Barnes performance where he ends up with 1 for 2 from the free throw line, ends up with 1 point for 22 minutes, and misses every single shot. It happens. Elijah Martin, a lot of good, a lot of bad. The good, he did make some shots. He hit a couple threes. The bad, and I mean, he played some pretty pesky defense. The bad, got caught flat-footed a few times, made some really poor decisions, looked a little bit slow at times on the perimeter, doing some of the stuff. We'll look at some Elijah Martin lowlights and also some Elijah Martin highlights, including that major dunk that he had. My players of the game. It's hard to argue, man. I think Jonathan Mobo, who hit the game winner, spoiler alert, hit the game winner, had a really tough night, actually. Five turnovers, just overall, not the greatest floor game from him. Just caught himself off rhythm quite a few times. Showed a little bit of like rock hands, if you will. But my player of the night has to be, it's actually a split between 2 guys. Okay. It's Chucky Hepburn and Jared Rhoden. And it's weird to say that a guy who played 4 minutes could be my player of the night. Could I give it to David Roddy? Can I give a 3-way player of the game? 4-way player of the game? It was like 4 players of the game. Okay. Player game number 1, let's give it to Grady Dick. Obviously, you're not in this game without him actually hitting his shots because nobody else was really hitting shots. Player of the game number 2, David Roddy. Like, I just loved what he provided. I've been a really big fan of his for quite a few years, and it's been really frustrating to not see him get any crack in preseason. So now with the starters out, he finally got some extended run, and I think he did really well. I think he did relatively well with it, including an off the dribble, shot to tie the game at 105. And then, of course, Jonathan Mobo hits the game winner with 107, but really just, you don't get this lead without him. You also don't get this lead without Jared Rhoden. The pressure defense that this man played for the last 4 minutes of the game was truly inspiring. Like, it was like he was playing for his life. And in a lot of ways, he's playing for his NBA life right now. And that desperation really showed. They forced what felt like 15 turnovers in 5 minutes. I would love to look at it. We'll just take a look at the play-by-play for the fourth quarter. I just want you to see how many turnovers the Raptors forced in the last 6 minutes of the game. It was nuts. At 5:15, Jamison Battle hits a 3. Then Jamison Battle misses a 3. David Roddy misses a 3-pointer. We get, let's see, turnover. Jonathan Mobo has a turnover at 3:50. Okay, where are we? Here we go. They get a rebound at 3:08. Chucky Hepburn makes a driving layup. Jared Rhoden makes a driving layup. Chucky Hepburn obviously had a and 1 there. Amari Williams, Jonathan Mobo steals it at 2:49. Okay, just to put it into perspective, at 3 minutes to go, this was a 9-point lead. Okay. With 3 minutes to go, actually, this was a 12-point lead. So the Raptors cut a 12-point lead into a 2-point win in 3 minutes. Imagine what those final 4 Jared Rhoden minutes were like. Then Jared Rhoden makes a driving layup. Jonathan Mobo makes a steal, passes it off to David Roddy. David Roddy makes a 3. Then the Celtics call a timeout. Chucky Hepburn somehow gets a 3 out of it, which is amazing. Then David Roddy, who misses a 3. David Roddy steals the ball from Baylor Shireman, who just looked absolutely not like an NBA player. David Roddy then misses the 3. Then we get a Chucky Hepburn missed free throw. Raptors get a team rebound. Chucky Hepburn makes a second free throw. Then we get Jared Rhoden with a travel, probably one of the few mistakes he actually made tonight. It was just relentless, relentless, relentless. I mean, that sequence was insane. We'll take a look at it just momentarily. But overall, like this final shot, which the Raptors drew up with 4 seconds to go, the Celtics, they had a coach's challenge. The call stood. The Celtics, they threw the ball out of bounds. RJ Luis Jr. threw the ball out of bounds. The Celtics challenge. They don't get it. The Raptors get the timeout. And then boom, it's 105, 105. And Jonathan Mobo makes a layup underneath the basket. Let's take a look at the film because I think the film is going to be very, very telling in this game. Give me 1 second. Pull this up. Call-in link is in the description. If you would like to call in, please call in. Okay, first of all, this was my message prior to the game. And it aged like wine, by the way. The Raptors will rest their starters tonight versus Boston, a division rival they'll face 4 times this season. My thoughts, I don't give a fuck. Happy to watch Grady, CMB, Jacoby, and Shed run circles around this team. I'm also praying we finally get to see some Ulrich Chomsky minutes with Chucky Hepburn. I'm becoming a very big Chucky Hepburn fan, by the way. Tonight is for Raptor fans. Real fans care about the bench. So if you hate this, go cry in the comments. And that was my statement prior to the game. This was about 25 minutes before the game when it was revealed that the Raptors would be resting their starters. Josh Lewenberg was obviously crying about it. Samson Folk wasn't happy about it. A lot of people were just predictably a little bit confused as to why they would choose to rest their starters at home. And personally, I was just for it because, the Raptors are playing their 3rd game in 5 nights. And personally, with all the travel, going West Coast to East Coast, I just felt like maybe this is the type of game where a starter who played major minutes is going to get injured at home, and it would be the worst thing in the world to see. So I was just like, you know what, an inconsequential game, let's see some young players ball out, and I was very happy. To start the game, the Raptors did not start well. Here, this pass ends up in, hold on, let me just change the format here. This pass results in Grady Dick getting a little closeout here. Now, why? Okay, first of all, like this pass from CMB is a little bit off target, so he kind of loses it. Here, Josh Minott closes out. He takes one jab and tries to beat Josh Minott off the dribble, but the pump fake, Minott is just an insanely long player, right? He passes out. He had no idea the shot clock expires. So again, you see this a lot in youth basketball. This cannot be happening in a professional basketball game from a 3rd-year player who is a lottery pick and a former Gatorade national player. You just have to have better clock management than that. You always have to have that internal clock ticking in your mind, and good players don't make that mistake twice. And Grady has made it a few times. Here, look at the transition play here. Jamal Shed. There's really no wasted dribbles here. Cut through the defense here. Ochai Baji, foul, and 1. And he gets it. Again, none of this happens if Jamal Shed holds on to the basketball. And once again, you see this pitch ahead type of action that the Raptors were doing all night. This entire sequence, look at where Grady starts this play. This entire sequence between Sandro, Jamal Shed, and Grady is going to take 1 dribble. Watch this. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, Liam, I'm going to ask you to chill. I do not hate on Grady. Okay? We're just going to cut that shit out right now. Telling the truth about a player is not hating on a player. He's been awful defensively. He had a great game today. Okay? There's no bias. There's no bias at all. Okay? You need to chill the fuck out. There's no bias here. Okay? Grady is a perfectly fine player. He had a great game tonight. He has not played well during preseason. We call it ace and ace here. Okay? Y'all want to get on me for not calling Scotty Barnes bad games out or RJ Barrett's bad games out or Ingram's bad games out. We're holding everyone to the same standard. If I am absolutely disappointed in Grady Dick, it's because I expect more from him because he is an insanely talented player. Okay. And tonight, honestly, I loved his defense too. Like he had we are going to see plenty of plays. In fact, by the way, Liam, hang tight for the film session and tell me after the film session if I'm still hating on Grady Dick. Okay. Here, 1 dribble. Finishes through contact, one of many finishes, gets to the line. Good stuff. Okay. Once again, Chucky Hepburn extending the game plan. All right, here. Look at this. Off a miss. Colin Murray Boyles, those super active hands. And look at this. No dribble. Once again, same thing. No dribble, pitch ahead, Boom, right? And this time he actually finishes it. So good stuff. Some of that extra weight is actually helping out here. This is back-to-back plays by Colin Murray-Boyles. And honestly, like he was probably going to work on about a 22-point game. There's so much. These may seem like very simple plays, but for a rookie, some of these plays are actually pretty great. Here, these are two really decent NBA players. These are two rotation players that he's going to do this to. Xavier Tillman is a NBA rotation player, played major rotation minutes for the Celtics last year, played major rotation minutes for the Memphis Grizzlies. That is also boom, right? Takes him off the dribble. That's one of the more mobile bigs. He's about 6'8". Xavier Tillman is like relatively mobile. He's not beating Jonas Valanciunas off the dribble, but I think he's showing you back to back to back games that if you put a 5 on him, he's taking it right to the basket, and he does it every time. And here he's just going to finish this right through contact. He took a foul there for sure. He didn't get the call because he's a rookie. And then there was Chris Boucher coming over from the weak side, and we all know Chris Boucher is a really good shot blocker. So the fact that he is able to finish through contact like this shows you that grown man strength. Now here, I love this, okay? He comes down the court and he sees Chris Boucher. No respect here for the Raptors legend. No respect for the fact that that's an NBA champion and, you know, a guy who's made so much money in his career and an NBA veteran, frankly. He doesn't give a shit. He sees Chris Boucher and he's like, give me the basketball right now. Okay. This is what you like to see. Now, he's not going to pass this. He could pass this to Ochai. Clearly, he could pass this to Ochai. Baylor Shireman is not going to catch up on that. Baylor Shireman is awful. But he's just like, no, man, I got tunnel vision here. I got a mismatch in the post. Boom. Oh my God, this hurts to watch, man. You love Chris Boucher because he can take that contact and he's so tough. But also, you got to understand the physics of this, man. That's a 21-year-old kid moving around a grown man. And that's just like, that's grown man strength. Okay. That's the type of move that you expect from like Rasheed Wallace. Okay. And I loved it. Like this, like everything CMB did tonight, defensively, offensively, really struck like great with me. Okay. Now, cover your ears because this was some hating ass shit. Okay. Elijah Martin is negative 21 in his first 17 preseason minutes. And believe me, tonight did not start out well. It ended a lot better than it is. Negative 3 against Denver in 5 minutes, negative 12 against Sacramento in 9 minutes, and negative 6 tonight in his first 3 minutes. It's bad. It's really bad, especially when you factor in he's played almost none of these minutes against an NBA rotation player, and he's about to turn 24 in 2 months. It looks bad. Okay. However, there are two things that he does really well. One is dunk, and the other is stand still, wide open corner shots. And he did both tonight, which is pretty cool. Here, Jamal Shed, one dribble, pitch ahead. How many times did Jamal Shed do this tonight? Dear Emmanuel Quickly, you are on the bench. Please watch this. Please do this. The next time you're on the court, just do this. Because I wish Jamal Shed would, I wish Emmanuel Quickly would do this a little bit more. And here, as if to shut my comment up right away, Jacoby Walter is going to pass this to a wide open Elijah Martin. Lets it go. Now, I'll tell you, dissecting his jump shot, I don't love it. He hits it very hard. It almost feels like it's either going to go right in or it's just like very hard, very flat, very it's not a good jump shot. It's not a jump shot that's going to go in at 40% clip ever in his life. But if he can ever get to like 35% consistently and he can just become a little bit more switchable and a little bit better in terms of making decisions, I could see a role for him on this team as a third stringer. The upside is not very high, but the athletic potential is pretty insane. Okay. Jacoby playing a little bit of point guard here. This is probably the play of the night for Jacoby Walter because he did not score a single field goal, but I really like this. And this is, one of the things that people say he can't do. People say he's not a playmaker. And here he has a center on him. Once again, Colin Murray-Boyle is going to set that screen. Ochai Agbaji sets that screen. The perfect release. Tillman is behind. He reads this perfectly. He's got a smaller defender in front of him. And boom, this is going to go right over. Good pass. Perfect. Leads Ochai Agbaji right into it. Here, Grady, the Dream Dick. This might have been the most impressive play for Grady tonight. Is that fair to say? What he did to Chris Boucher here is honestly criminal. Watch this. there's some game to this guys, man. Like, boom, boom, get him off. Okay, if you're a Raptor fan, I think you probably have played a drinking game where does Chris Boucher leave his feet or does Chris Boucher not leave his feet? Grady here manipulating the defender here. He knows Chris Boucher wants to block everything. So he's going to use that against Boucher and then boom, just beat him off the dribble. Whew. Loved it. And here, Grady Dick is going to show you that the D stands for defense. This is Grady D. And here, applying some backcourt pressure, something the Raptors tried with him last year. He wasn't very good at it last year, but here with the additional strength, he forces a turnover. And this is beautiful. And the Raptors were down 23 when Grady Dick just took over this game to try and get them back into it. And here we have another play from Grady, and this is going to be finished through contact, and I love it. Here, look at how quickly the Raptors are able to sprint up the court. It's 2 seconds, and the ball is gone. Here, once again, Chucky Hepburn, boom. These dudes are playing football out there. They're not even playing basketball. And then this beautiful acrobatic finish, which Matt Devlin called silky smooth. Okay, love it. So just an awesome thing here. And then here, Chucky Hepburn has really won me over. I got to be honest, like through 3 games, I can tell you the one player that I'm absolutely the most impressed with is Chucky Hepburn. He's just been so impressive. Every time he steps on the court, it's just so sick. And here he takes Neemias Queta off the bounce, end of the quarter, and just a little, that is the toughest shot in basketball. And he hits it like he thinks he's Damian Lillard. That's amazing. Like, I love that shot. That's amazing. Okay. Now here, look at this play by Jared Roden. I mean, this is a back-to-back sequence here. The Raptors are within 11 points right now, and Jared Roden is going to pick up Baylor Shireman in the backcourt here. Shireman just could not handle the pressure at all. Like, basically no one on the Celtics could handle pressure. Anthony Simons couldn't handle pressure all night. Baylor Shireman couldn't handle pressure all night. Peyton Pritchard was the only person who could dribble against his press, and it's actually pretty impressive that the Raptors have a defense that is so tenacious and so organized that they're not giving up absolute blow-bys on the back end of this press. Like, it takes a lot of discipline to play like this. Not to mention, it takes a lot of energy, athleticism, personnel to play like this. And here, Jared Roden is going to make that layup. And once again, boom, right? Man up, chest up. And the Celtics just looked scared. They looked really scared. Nobody wanted the basketball on this team. They absolutely shit the bed. Okay, this is the second time that I've seen this happen in preseason. The other night, it happened, I think, to the Portland Trailblazers. And tonight, it happens to this third string unit of the Celtics. Here, Jonathan Mobo makes a really great decision here, right? Now, there's 2 decisions he can make, okay? One is he can drive it and then make a little bit of a drop pass to Jared Roden, which he's clearly shown us a million times he's capable of. This is the only rookie in the NBA who had a triple-double last year, I'll remind you. Or he could know his personnel and make this little loop around pass to David Roddy. Now, I don't know how I know this, but Jonathan Mobo, David Roddy, Scotty Barnes spent a lot of time this summer together. So he knows David Roddy. Okay. David Roddy was at Summer League. Jonathan Mobo was at Summer League. They know. He knows his game. So he's going to make the right pass. And the right pass when you're down 9 is to get an open look for a good 3-point shooter who shot 37% from 3 on his career. And that is lights out, man. That's onions, as my man Chuck Swirsky would say. Shout outs to Chuck. If you haven't watched my interview with Chuck Swirsky, please go watch it. I did not like this call. This would have tied the game for the Toronto Raptors. Here, Jared Roden takes a bump here. Now I'm going to count the steps here. I'm going to slow this down and I'm going to count the steps because I wasn't sure on live watch if this was a travel, but let's see. Okay. So he takes his defender off the dribble. Jared Roden is one of those guys who can actually get low enough to beat his man. Okay. So there's one step. Oh, I apologize. That is a travel, but it looks so smooth. It looks so smooth. Give it to him, man. It's preseason. Ugh. Whatever. Okay, it was a travel. The refs rightfully called that a travel. However, I did not like it because I'm a biased Raptor fan and I wanted the Raptors to get that call. Now we are at 103, 105, and the Raptors decide to call with 40 seconds an isolation play for David Roddy. And I thought this was a bold choice by Darko Rajakovic. And they clear out and they just let him cook one-on-one. And I honestly, I'm very happy because the second I saw this situation on the court right here, I'm like, he's gonna twirl around him and he's gonna get right to the basket. I've been watching David Roddy for a long damn time. This is his game, dude. Like, this is all of collegiate basketball for him. He doing this shit. And here, like a freaking linebacker, I don't watch football, can you tell? Uh Free safety, I don't know. Running back? Okay, cool. So just a great, just such a football player, man. He's such a football player. Okay, great play. And here we have 105, 105, 4.4 seconds to go. Celtics don't have any timeouts. The Raptors call, I believe, their final timeout. And here, AJ Lawson, they draw this play up. Obviously, the first option on this play would have been sorry, that's not AJ Lawson. The fuck am I doing? No, it's Jared Roden. My bad. So Jared Roden, inbound play, now for Chucky Hepburn. Mobo cuts through. Huge, huge catch radius. David Roddy is popping up here. AJ Lawson is there. So it's enough time for a catch and a swing, or a catch and a drive and a shoot. And Mobo makes the right decision here. Now, very often last year, people complained about his paint finishing, right? And here you've got a pretty long defender and he's able to manipulate him. And he does what the Raptors have asked him not to do, which is he doesn't dunk the basketball. He was supposed to dunk that. But nevertheless, maybe, a little bit gassed. He decided, let me not dunk it right now. Let me not try to get too cute. Let me just do the safe thing, put it in. And you know what? Great for Jonathan Mobo. I loved this game, every second of it. It was really cool to watch. And yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to say other than that. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I just thought this was such a collective team win. You know what I mean? Like, give me one sec here. Pull this up. Let's just look at the win probability here. It's pretty insane. So the win probability for the Toronto Raptors was probably like 1% at some point in this game. Let me see. Yeah, the Celtics were 99.2% favored to win this game with 3.9 minutes to go. Do you understand that? Like 99.2% favored to win. Like, the win probability was, in a normal setting, the Celtics win 99.2% of this outcome if we play it out 100 times. Okay. This might be, and I'm not guessing it. I understand there's going to be a 30-point Scotty game at some point. There's going to be a 40 bomb from Ingram. There might be a 50 bomb from Grady, or a 12 assist, 12 rebound, triple double from somebody, or maybe CMB has a 5 block game. I understand there's going to be individual performances that are going to maybe catch your eye more than this. I don't think you're going to get, I'm not sure you're going to get another game with this much of a comeback. 3 minutes to go, man. To do this in 3 minutes when you're sunk, to make matters worse, also, like, when you yourself are so freaking exhausted, it is this was a nuts game. Okay, absolutely crazy game, and absolutely here for it, man. I love it. Loved to see this team play so hard, and I'm really curious who makes the final roster right now, because the Toronto Raptors have a bunch of guys on this team that probably are pretty similar, if I'm being honest. Like it feels like they've got AJ Lawson. Draw the line of, where's the value, where's the value loss? AJ Lawson, Chucky Hepburn, AJ Lawson, Chucky Hepburn, Elijah Martin, David Roddy, Orwich Shamshi. Like, you have 5, right? We haven't seen Garrett Temple very much at all during preseason. So do you let go of David Roddy and Jared Roden after what they just did today, knowing that at some point, maybe down the line, somewhere down the season, you might need them? Would you do it? The Raptors don't have any cap space right now. They don't have any space under the luxury tax. They don't have the ability to go out and sign DeLon Wright, right? Uh, James Welsh, sorry to ruin the party. It was a fun preseason game to watch, but so many of the Raps playing are not rotational pieces. Well, David Roddy has been a borderline rotation piece for most of his career, actually. And like end of rotation, fine, but he has utility as a, let's call it, switchable, three level type of three position type defender. He has utility as a shooter. I'm not sure what you're seeing there, right? Um, Jonathan Mobo, yeah, sure. I mean, you could quibble about the offense a little bit. I don't know. I think the Raptors have a lot of young players that play the right way and play very hard, and that's very good for your culture. I understand that some people really get hung up on the talent equation of it or the talent portion of this, like where they're like, "Oh my god, this player is more talented than this player, and so they're better." And I get that. I get that. I get talent is very seductive, but effort, grit, this is what organizations are built on, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that Udonis Haslem kept an NBA job for like 15 years without ever being super talented. Like, you just want a lot of these good, hardworking guys in your organization. And of course, you need to cap it off with some talent like Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram and RJ Barrett. Like, you need talent, but you also just need this. Like, you need this so badly. So I don't know. Manny Crypto is saying trade Martin. Hmm, okay. If anyone wants to call in, there is a call in link in the description. We are happy to have a conversation about this game. There isn't really much more to say about it, honestly. Like, it is what it is. Like, yes, most of these players are not going to play regular rotation minutes for you. The Celtics did not play Jaylen Brown, but they did play Anthony Simons. They didn't play Derek White and Jaylen Brown, who are obviously their two best players. So they were without their two best players. You were without your five best players. I don't know who had it worse, but honestly, I don't think if the Raptors play their starters and the Celtics play their starters, that I'm taking the Celtics to win this game on the road. I don't think so. Right. So, you know, and again, like it's one of those things where eventually when you do make a move, right? Like when you do inevitably trade one of your pieces that are a little bit more expensive, there will be a moment where you'll realize uh we probably right? Like we probably need to find ancillary pieces around the edges of our roster that are going to be filling in for those trades. Like so you may have to attach like a Jonathan Mobo or a Chucky Hepburn, I don't know, down the line, maybe a year from now, you might attach them in a trade. And maybe some team out there is going to be really excited to have one of them, right? So right now, hang on, we're just going to keep this game on in the background here. The San Antonio Spurs are up one, and Carter Bryant just made a 28-foot jumper to potentially win the game. Damn, CB. Holy shit. Let's just check what's going on with the Spurs here. We have Carter with 6, David Jones Garcia with 10, Victor Wembanyama with 22. Damn. And what is Ace Bailey doing tonight? 18 points on 7 for 9. Dude, how is Ace Bailey so efficient right now? Like, I ripped this guy to shreds during the entire pre-draft cycle, and he has totally proven me wrong through two games. Happy to see it, man. Happy to see it. Elsewhere around the NBA, the Phoenix Suns defeat the Brooklyn Nets. Cool. The Las Vegas Aces have become the WNBA champions, sweeping the Phoenix Mercury. Shout outs to Players' Choice, who were there live in person covering the game for YouTube, which was very, very cool. And just looking around the NBA here, Phoenix Suns, Brooklyn Nets. Did we get any dynamite performances? We got a 19 points off the bench Jordan Goodwin game, a 22-point Cam Thomas game, Michael Porter Jr. with 13. Okay, cool. You know, a player that I'm surprisingly like very high on? Two players actually, Daron Sharp, Danny Wolf. I actually like these two guys a lot. So I think like I'm more optimistic about what the Brooklyn Nets are doing than most people. I think most people just can't stop clowning them for like the number of point guards and guards that they've accumulated. But they just have like a dearth of young players who could pop off at any point. And yeah, I like Daron Sharp and Danny Wolf. I actually like them a lot together. I would love them as a backup, young player rotation. It's a very interesting pair to have. Uh, saying Danny is a young Jokic. Not gonna lie, his ball handling is so impressive. Like to keep it a buck, like it's very impressive. Ace Bailey misses his jump shot, and they foul intentionally. Dope. Okay, the San Antonio Spurs will win this game. Nice. And here we are seeing the worst team in the NBA. Well, they might become the worst team in the NBA. The Sacramento Kings going up against the Portland Trailblazers. And cool. Portland is toying around with their starting lineup. If you're wondering why Denny Avdia didn't start the previous game. Denny Avdia didn't start the previous game because Chauncey Billups is literally tinkering with his starting lineup. There's no chance in hell, in my opinion, that Jeremy Grant would ever start over Denny Avdia, but it is something to think about. We have Coach Mo. Coach Mo calling in. What up, man?
What's up, Rob? Long time.
Long time indeed. What's going on, man?
I didn't watch the entire game, but I did catch the ending.
Okay.
And so that was exciting. I was actually shocked at how close the game was when I snuck my, checked back in. But I wanted to talk about CMB.
Okay.
There's something concerning me about CMB.
Uh-oh.
Okay. And I think the way he plays is not sustainable.
Why?
Well, he's already been hurt twice. Okay, for example, that first play against Boucher,
Mm-hmm.
where he fouled him,
Yeah.
someone needs to go to him and be like, dude, chill. You're going to foul out in every game in 10 minutes if you play defense like this. Because these are NBA vets and they're going to know, oh, this guy's antsy. He's super aggressive. He's jumpy. He wants to make his name. Yeah, I'll foul him out. And the savvy vets will get rid of him so fast.
Get
Now,
rid of him.
learn it, but I just don't believe it's sustainable to play at the intensity and physicality he's playing at.
Right.
And he will get hurt. And just on the side note, the game Scotty played, what I didn't like about it was not the 1 point, his aggressiveness and all that. That's defensively just too aggressive, too jumpy. Right? My personally, when I used to coach, I preached fundamentals and make them shoot over you. Sound defense is better than overly aggressive, jumpy. I'm going to make my point, because high risk, high reward, right? You
Yeah,
have
I
to
hear
pick
that.
your spots. You can't do it the whole game. You know what I mean?
I do.
And the great defenders knew when to go for a steal, when to be sound, right? When to be aggressive.
That's fair. I think for the most part, the Toronto Raptors want to play that way because they're trying to make the defense very uncomfortable and they don't mind fouling a lot. There's probably safer ways to do it than they've been doing it. And I've already mentioned, like in a previous video, I think injuries are going to be a really huge part of this season. Touch wood. I don't want them to be, but
If they
there's
play the way
only
they are, we're going to have a
exactly.
lot of injuries. This is not sustainable. 82 games. It's just not.
Well, they're going to find out. And I don't know, man. Like, okay, so I'll say this: like,
Because
as
he's
long as you,
hacking. Like, he's a great defender, and he has great potential to be top 5 defender in the league. But it's
right,
overly aggressive. It's overly physical.
right. I mean,
It's borderline hacking,
intentionally.
And I understand it. And on a night where the referees are tight whistled, how do you adjust if that's your go-to? You know what I mean?
I think he can adjust. Like for the most part, I think he's able to adjust. Like he was able to play relatively like he was able to play relatively competitive basketball in the sense that he was able to stay on the floor for South Carolina last year a lot.
Mhm.
And, he's always very handsy. It's not like he was fouling out of every single game, right?
But this is a different
So,
level.
well, there's also a different role, right?
Yeah.
Like you're asking him to be physical because you're expecting that physicality has a downstream effect on the team, on the other team, which is to say exactly what happened tonight. So, my view on this would be it's a game of chicken between the offense and defense, right? Whereby you think that by the end of the game, you can wear them down so much with your physicality. Number one, referees are human. If you play this way all the time, they won't
Mhm.
call fouls as much as you think they will. Like they will start letting you get away with shit because they let OKC get away with shit a lot last year, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is if you play super hard all the time, number one, I think you're like developing much better habits. Like overall, it's better to play hard than to play soft, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the view on this is as long as you are able to get out of get out of this season without incurring any ACL tears, any Achilles tears, if it's all just rolled ankles and bruises and shit like this, I'm almost like okay with it, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm, mhm.
Like because
I'm just saying, like,
at the end of the
he
game, you're gonna have very tired teams trying to score on you. And I
yeah,
think there's a value to that.
I just value the player's health long term, and
Right.
CMB has played how many games, preseason games so far? 3?
He has played 3, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's played
I
2.
swear
Two
he's
and a
just
half, really.
walking around limping, like 2 of them. He's had some limpy moments. I think he left one game and came back. He
Right.
jammed a finger in, like, the other one, right?
Mhm.
Bro, it's 82 games. It's
Yeah, I
82
mean,
games.
Scotty has the same problem.
Of course, because
Okay.
and Scotty, people say Scotty's injury prone. I don't think it's necessarily he's that injury prone. He puts himself in very awkward situations, overly aggressive, right? There are
Right,
players who, like, Drew Holiday is very aggressive defensively,
right.
but he doesn't put himself in harm's way, or get himself in trouble.
So you're saying, like, these guys need to learn how to not get hurt while playing super hard,
Yeah.
which makes sense. Yeah, for
And
sure.
there's certain, like, CMB stands out in terms of physicality. All these guys are physical, and the coaches are telling them, high pickup point and everything. But CMB stands out. He stands out. I'm like, this dude's hands are strong. He's long. He's strong. He's super strong for his age, and it's
Mhm.
great. I just feel like he can dial it down and still be as aggressive,
Right.
right? Because he will get
Yeah,
himself in trouble.
yeah.
I
What are
know. I
your
feel like I'm
what are
harping on
your
the point, but yeah.
beyond that, what are your thoughts on the game?
I was
What'd you think of
very
Jared Roden? Did you watch, Jared Roden? Curious.
No, not much of it. But I did see Grady, and he's finishing at the rim, so that's great. I mean, it is like the Celtics, like, C team, but it was great to see Grady you know, play better.
Mhm,
Um, Another thing I find concerning, and I'm sounding like a downer, but Ingram looked great.
mhm.
RJ's fine. Bro, IQ.
Whew.
All I ask of
Yeah.
IQ is just get off the ball quicker, bro. That's it. Just get
Yeah,
off
I
the ball
mean, he
quicker.
watched 2 point guards who are his backup and his 3rd string do it all night tonight. He has to be crazy if he doesn't see it. Like, the offense moves so much faster when Jamal
No,
Shed is on the court, and it's like they're asking him to be fast, and he just needs to hold the basketball. There's players like this that just, like, you've definitely seen them, like, where they just need to massage the ball a little bit. Fred
like,
VanVleet has similar
yeah.
tendencies at
Yeah,
times too.
and that frustrated me beyond belief. And the reason why when
Right.
Fred did it and when IQ are doing it, it irritates me is they c- they can't break their guy off the dribble consistently enough to get to the rim or create a breakdown that there's
Right.
legitimately no point in you actually holding the ball, right?
I
If
think
I
Emmanuel
if
Quickley is twitchy enough to do it. It
No,
just
he's not. I've watched enough of him play. He struggles to beat people off the dribble, but you would think he wouldn't, but he actually does.
mm, so I don't think that's like I think his twitch athleticism based on what I've seen from New York, like his first step is very good. The the issue that I find is that he thinks he needs too much space. Like he has almost like a paranoia of getting his jumper blocked. So like when he wants to beat his guy off the dribble for like a pull up, it's not going to be like Kyrie, where if he gets 2 feet, it's toast. Like it's going in the air. He needs to get like 5 feet. So I think
Mm.
that's very often like why he kind of deviates and like he just it's not smooth. Like
No,
I always knew
like he's
like
not getting
that
clean blow
flat
bys.
jumper was gonna be a problem with him on the ball because again, when you're on the ball, defenses load up on you and you have to have a high release. You have to have a quick release and a high release. You know, another player who had a problem with this, Roko Leniukic. And Roko had a problem where, from a very young age at KK Split, he had this load up jumper where he would bring it up and then slingshot it. Now, also made him a very inconsistent jump shooter, but also made him like really easy to stop in terms of bothering his shooting pocket. So I'm on the like, let's wait and see, but I really need to start seeing him buy into an off-ball role because if he doesn't, like, it's going to be really bad.
And the reason why I say he can't really, like, how many clean blow bys do you really see in the half court? Not many. And
Right.
and the reason I say it is, how many times does he do that thing where he kind of leans in and then pretends like there was more contact than there was, and he throws it up, right? And they're not even giving him that call anymore. And
Right.
once that call goes away, he just needs to make quicker decisions. Do I
He
have an
does.
advantage or not? Get rid of it. That's it.
Yeah. Cass saying, shout out to Erison for putting us on to Chucky. Absolutely. Shout out to Erison. That was a big call, man. I'm a really big fan right now of I'm becoming a huge fan of Chucky Hepburn. Like I might buy a Chucky Hepburn jersey. Like I'm so impressed. I can't even tell you. Like the guy just plays with such a high IQ that if he ends up running our G League squad, I'm going to be the happiest G League 905 fan ever because he's going to set Ulrich up in a way nobody has in a long time. Like this is a true point guard. Like he's a true general. If the jump shot ever comes around, boom, like you have found an absolute gem. Shout out to this guy, man. Like I can't tell you like how much I like him. Kieran Hall, what do you think of Jared Roden? Generally, I like him. I really like him. I didn't like him very much last year, but watching this game and watching a couple of G League games last year, I've started to turn my mind around on him. I do like him. Yeah, it's really hard for me to ignore how impressive he's been for sure. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Jared Roden based on last year, this year, etc.?
I don't invest too much
Okay.
in like the back end guys, because I used to do that. And like would it be accurate to say Fred was the last guy who was kind of undrafted, fringe? Will he make the roster? He was the last guy to really break through. Like who is there a more recent one? Because you can't say DeLon Wright, he was too high of a pick.
Right.
So who was it? Like the undrafted heap, the fourth year guys, the undrafted guys, the summer league sign in. Who was the last guy to actually break through? If not Fred.
Breakthrough is tough. Like who was the guy to break through? Nobody
Shit got
really.
drafted. They're saying shit. I guess Jamison Battle. Yeah, they're saying Jamison Battle.
James Battle did break through in a sense, but he also was a third stringer on a team that won 30 games. So I wouldn't really say that's breaking through. Two Tone saying Chris Boucher. I guess you could say that. Like it was more like a G League to NBA success story with Chris Boucher, where he got to play major minutes for a lot of teams that lost.
Yeah.
I think the only season where he played major minutes and you weren't a total train wreck was Scotty's rookie season. Like that was the one year where that happened. Other than that, it's been pretty much losing basketball all the way through, right? So
one thing I'm looking forward to this year is seeing what Darko goes to end games, the 5-man unit that and I think they're going to be different, but that'll be
right.
interesting. That'll be interesting. And I actually agree with you when you said it's Scotty, Ingram, and then honestly, anything after that,
It should be fluid.
probably RJ. But it's after those two, it's anybody's guess, right? On a night-to-night basis.
Yeah, it really you shouldn't be locked into anybody. Like if I want to build a great shooting lineup, like I mean, I think the third guy in that lineup that's probably always going to be on the court is Quickly. But beyond those three, it should be fluid. Like I would say even Quickly should be fluid, but whatever. Like people are always going to be like, well, he's not bad defensively and he's a good shooter. How can you keep him on the bench? But with RJ and Yak, I think it should be pretty fluid. Like you should have the option to go super small, like where you put Ingram and Barnes at the 4-5, because they can realistically you can survive with that, right? Or like you could put them at the 3-4 and then put CMB at the 5, and then maybe put Grady or Jacoby or Ochai, one of those two guys, and then just go like really big across the board. Like that could be an interesting lineup, and then you don't have as many defensive holes. You could also potentially go CMB and Mobo and just build like a great defensive unit, right? Like if you just need a stop, IQ, Ingram, Barnes, Mobo, CMB, that's a great unit to get a stop, you know?
If you're ahead, yeah, you can run that for a couple minutes if you're ahead.
But now that you have BI, you can also score with that unit. Like Brandon Ingram realistically can score over a double team pretty easily. And Scotty could also theoretically score against a one-on-one. So all you need is for the other three guys to run and cut. Like in theory, like the Raptors were able to score points with Mobo on the bench, Mobo on the court last year with Colin Castleton and freaking Jared Roden out there. So, you should be able to do it. Like I don't think you don't need RJ, or you don't need RJ and Ingram and Barnes. Like you can go with two, and then you can go with like three positive defenders. I think it can work. Uh yeah, overall. Okie doke. Yeah. Anyways, how's your summer been, man?
Good, man. Good. It's I'm watching the WNBA, so shout out to the Aces. I think the
Wait,
Aces they had a rocky start to their season and they won like a crazy amount of games to
right.
turn it around. So, but you know what? I want to say this. I'm not even talking about her because of her end of season presser,
Right.
but I'm just sad Nafisa Collier and the Lynx haven't won a title. That group, I feel like they
Yeah.
should have the title by now. Like it just sucks that she got injured and all that, and the foul that wasn't called because on the replay you saw she just her knee got jammed.
Right.
Yeah, so that was I just feel bad for the Lynx, but
Yeah, I feel bad for feet too. Honestly, I do. Like it
great
was
product
just
though. Great product. The games are good. I was watching the WNBA like a decade ago plus,
mhm.
and my brother would be like, "Yo, you watch the WNBA," and it was playoff time, and I'm like, "Yo, just sit here and watch these last 2 minutes of this playoff game." And my brother was like, "Yo, that was a good game." I was like, "Yo, bro, it doesn't matter if the games are close and it's competitive, bro. Basketball is basketball. I'd rather watch women's basketball that's competitive and close
Mhm.
than men play. There's been plenty of playoff seasons where I'm like, yeah, the WNBA had a better playoffs this year than the NBA. They just had a better playoffs.
They did. They did. They really did. That's not a lie.
But
Yeah.
yeah, in terms of the Raptors, I just think the East is so bad. We're just gonna win games just off sheer talent. Even if the fit is wonky, I don't think there are that many quality opponents. I don't. And if we're gonna play majority East teams, like I think worst case scenario when they're playing, I don't even see, barring injuries, I don't see how we don't even just fall over ourselves into a play-in spot.
We could. Yeah. I could certainly see it. Like I could see a world in which we're like 38 wins and we make the playoffs. It could easily happen. Easily. Yeah. Anyways, man, any final thoughts?
Yeah, the NBA needs to do something about this tanking thing because we tried to tank, but the NBA needs to like do something about teams just loading their rosters with the guys no one has ever heard of. Like
Mhm.
they have to do something. The product gets so bad. What the Sixers did was disgusting. Not because they got a higher pick than us, but that can't be an option for every team. Like you can't just do
Sure.
that. It's weird.
Yeah.
The
I
green
mean,
teams can tank.
Yeah, but I mean, who's to say who you can or can't sign? Like that's
No,
very
but I'm
difficult
saying,
to
oh,
like.
they're all injured now. They're all injured all of a sudden.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in a lot of ways, the teams that have won the number one pick the last 2 years, would you guess how many wins they've had on
No,
average?
I get it. But it's also you're also a league.
37.5,
You're
which
also a league
means,
that's
dude, like
trying to be
teams like the
competitive.
Utah Jazz, that like in previous years would have been guaranteed like a top 3, top 4 pick, end up at 6, which I love. Right now, if the NBA wants to make this even harder to tank, I think they could go 7. I think they can go lottery 7 deep. And that way you could have the worst record and end up with the 8th pick. I think that would totally solve tanking.
Yeah, it's either
But yeah,
that or if you're the Wizards and you're just always top 4 worst team. It's like if you
yeah.
are in the top 5 3 years in a row, at best you can pick 10th the next year or something.
I
Like
actually, believe it or not, suggested the exact same solution on Player's Choice, where I
because
said if you pick
can't
top
pick dog pick
pick
every
top
year and get
5,
rewarded for it.
exactly, like if you pick top 5 3 years in, or if you finish with a bottom 5 record 2 years in a row, I think the third year you should move down to 13th
Yes,
automatically. Like
I
you should
agree.
just have the 13th
I
you
agree.
know.
Don't
Yeah,
reward
because
incompetence.
you're obviously not very good at developing players if you're so bad 3 years in a row, right? So yeah. Anyways, man, good talking to you, and big W for the Raptors.
Yeah.
Speedy health to Conroy Boss. Peace, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Shout out
Peace.
to TMB.
See ya.
Later.
See ya. Nolan, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, Rob? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Can't complain. I mean, the weather was a bit cold today, but that's, Canada. Um,
Was it cold?
well, where I am in Canada anyway, it
Where
was
are
a
you
little
in
bit
Canada?
chilly. I'm in Ontario,
I'm
southern
in I'm in
Ontario.
Ontario
So,
too.
oh, cool. Um, but yeah, first of all, I gotta apologize because the last time I spoke with you on here, I was out here campaigning for Elijah Martin being the best rookie that we got. I am so far off of that now. I mean,
Why did
I
you think
still,
that? I'm just curious.
I, as a Raptors fan, you want to have some optimism about some players that you draft, and I don't know, maybe it was something about him being a second round pick, and people not really,
Mm,
maybe other than the people who watch the NCAA tournament, maybe not knowing as much about him as they should,
right.
and like watching tape on him afterward after we drafted him to kind of find out, who he
When
is.
you say tape, do you mean tape or do you mean highlights?
No, I mean like tape. Like I watched the
Like
NCAA
full
tournament.
games. You
Yeah,
watched full games of him. Okay.
yeah. I did.
Okay.
But
So
obviously,
what has moved you off of him in a few preseason games and summer league?
I just think his impact on the collegiate level just isn't translating to the NBA so far. In the first 3 preseason games, and again, preseason, you can overreact to some of these games and be like, man, like for example, Scotty Barnes. Oh God, he's only scored 1 point. Who cares? That's preseason.
Right.
So like maybe this is like premature coming off of him, but I don't know. I was banging the drums for Elijah Martin before he even played a game for the Raptors, and now I'm
Right.
just kind of like, he's just possibly just another second round draft pick. I mean, like Chucky Hepburn, example tonight, like
Mhm.
he just had way more impact on the game than Elijah Martin did. And it's like that guy was
Right.
unsigned by the Raptors, and they seem to have a a good record when it comes to unsigned rookies. But yeah,
Yeah, they might be overthinking their second rounders because they flop on second rounders quite often.
yeah,
Masai Ujiri has flopped on a lot of second rounders. People only remember like Norman Powell. They remember Norman Powell, but they don't realize how many of those second rounders have failed, and a lot of them failed. David Johnson failed in spectacularly, by the way.
yeah,
Uh, we drafted a second rounder whose name I can't even remember right now over Nikola Jokic and Jeremy Grant. And someone will remind me in the comments who that was. It was a wing who literally played summer league and then never ever played NBA basketball. He picked him 35th or 36th overall. I am forgetting his name right now, but he was terrible. So, and it was obvious, like it was very obvious, like right from summer league, it was obvious as hell. And it was like, what were they thinking? And yeah, man, the draft can be a crapshoot at times, man. It's just really
yeah,
tough. Elijah
and
Martin, obviously, like at the collegiate level, there's certain things that aren't going to show up. Yeah, that's it. Key M, DeAndre Daniels. it was DeAndre Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I just like to be like an optimist when it comes to the Raptors as a biased Raptors fan. I mean, I made a proclamation on Twitter uh, because I do believe that like the Raptors are. I maybe look on the Raptors a little bit higher than others when it comes to this current construction of the roster. I
Sure.
really do truly believe that this team is capable of winning over 50 games, and I truly do believe that it is feasible to see them somewhere between the top 4 to the top 6. Now, I look more toward the optimal um, angle of them being a top 4 seed in the East. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
probably a bold take amongst most of Raptors land. I think a lot of them probably picture them as high as 6 and no higher, but
Okay.
I tend to think that they could be a top 4 seed. Just based off talent, based off depth, based off of things that the blueprint they've kind of copied off of OKC from last year. Like, I don't
Sure.
know. There's just something about this team that, and I know that, the fit with, although the fit with, I have to say, the fit with RJ and Ingram
Mm-hmm.
has been surprising through the first couple games. Like the way that they're on the floor together and it seems to gel pretty well. Like I wouldn't have thought that before seeing them play games together.
Why not? They're really good
Because
basketball synergy. I would assume that they would be very good together.
because like when it comes to RJ, like we saw last year, I mean he was a pretty good 3-point shooter, but it was mostly self creation, right? It wasn't a lot of
Sure.
catch and shoot threes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when I thought about it, I was like, well, you've got two guys in Ingram and RJ who mostly self create and do create for others too, but mostly when they get their own baskets, it's because of self creation, not because someone's created for them. Um, and I don't know. There's only one ball, right? And obviously you've got Scotty who's got to get the ball too, and he can pass the ball to anybody. But I don't know. It's something about RJ and Ingram having similar styles in the fact that they're they're super impactful when they have the ball in their hands, but when they don't, they're just kind of there. And I don't know if they have this sort of off-ball impact like they do on the ball. So I don't know. I just thought that those two players together wouldn't work as well as they have so far through a couple games, granted, but
Right. I would. I don't know. I had no issue with those two at all. I think the only issue I would have is if RJ had like a really really cold jump shooting season, then it could get a little bit space deprived. But overall, like, yeah, man. Two jumbo creators who can, dribble, pass, shoot. It's a good thing. They're very dissimilar players. I'm a big believer that diversity is important when it comes to offense. You don't want to have like Chris Boucher and Chris Boucher and Chris Boucher. Like you don't want to have three Chris
yeah,
Bouchers out there. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
no.
you need to have a little bit of a Bruce Brown and a Kelly Olynyk to create some sort of basketball chemistry there. So yeah, I think they have very different strengths. Like RJ is a downhill driver who doesn't drive very effectively, and Ingram is a pull up jump shooter who should probably drive more. Like they're very different, and obviously both can space out to the corners and hit. Like they've both shown very reasonable stretches of being able to hit corner threes. So in the event that they are off the ball, at least they have a role. Uh, Now Ingram was obviously a lot more guarded in terms of as a shooter than RJ will be, but RJ can get to a point where he shoots 37%. Teams will slowly start to guard him as well. Worst case scenario, he's still a big name. Like I hate to say it, but NBA sort of still works this way. It doesn't matter that Ingram shoots what he shoots. Like he hasn't been super effective. It doesn't matter that Devin Booker is not a 36% three-point shooter. Teams still guard him like he is. And sometimes you just have gravity as a name, like a guy that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like Grady Dick is a guy everybody knows. He put a mega spotlight on himself on draft night, and the fact that his name is Grady Dick, and like he has a lot of weird gravity out there. Like people are just like, oh, shooter, that guy. Don't let him shoot. So he gets guarded all the time. He's not necessarily like some lights out shooter, but he clearly has the reputation as a lights out shooter. So, if Elijah Martin comes out and shoots 46% from three this year, let's just say hypothetically, he just happens to have the luckiest streak of all time and just shoots 46% from three. And I guarantee you he will never be guarded as well as Grady Dick this year. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
probably not.
I see this with Lou Dort all the time. Lou Dort shot 40% all year. Teams still wave at him and ignore him. So, you have a reputation. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is not a good three-point shooter. Not a great three-point shooter. He's still guarded at the three-point line. Teams don't just let him shoot, So
But
RJ, if
I think
nothing else, is a name. Yeah, go ahead.
I think I think the key too that you kind of pointed out a little bit there is that Ingram is super heavily guarded on the off on the by the other team, right? He draws in a lot of defenders. Scotty will probably draw in a lot of defenders when he's inside the 3-point line,
Right.
which leaves guys like RJ open more often. So
Sure.
it gives
Yeah.
them the opportunity to be able to catch and shoot while not being super heavily guarded. Last year, he sometimes was the Raptors' main option on offense, and that's why his like finishing wasn't as good as it should be. But
Right.
but this year probably will be a little bit different because you got Ingram now, who will probably be the main focal point of most defenses, and then also Scotty, and then quickly who can hit the three. Um, like he's a threat on the offensive end as well sometimes. So RJ might be lost by defenses and might be able to get up some open threes. And when it comes to open threes, I mean, RJ hits them at a pretty decent clip. So
Yeah. I think he'll also have almost every night he'll have the third or fourth weakest defender on him. And
yeah,
so that will create many openings because I don't know too many teams where their fourth defender can guard RJ Barrett. Like he's too good for the fourth defender on your team one-on-one.
hmm
And he's almost always going to draw a double team. So
right,
this is where I say, like, sometimes people are like, oh, there's too many mouths to feed. I'm like, if they buy into it, that's a really good problem to have, you know, if it
hmm
works. And so far it hasn't
right.
worked and it hasn't looked great. And these lineups might need to be staggered a little bit.
Oh, I think they
You know what I mean?
100% will. Like, I
Yeah.
think that Darko will probably run a couple starters with some of the bench guys at certain times. Like, I don't think we'll see the full starting five play a lot together within the game. I think they'll start together. I think most likely, if things are going well on the floor for those starting guys, they'll probably end the game. But I think most of the time there will be a hodgepodge of starters and guys off the bench because that's just how the game works. You don't always
Yeah.
end with the same guys that you start with.
Yeah, that's always going to be the case. This is not hockey, so they're not going to be doing lineup switches. But in terms of like which players can play together and which can't, I'm curious to see if in the past, Scotty has been sometimes tasked with carrying some weaker bench lineups. RJ has been tasked with carrying weaker bench lineups. I wonder if this time it could be Bi and Yak who are charged with carrying weaker bench lineups. That's what I would do. So I would pull Bi and Yak off the court, bring Sandro and Grady in, play maybe 4 minutes with that full unit. And then at the 8 minute mark, I'd bring Bi and Yak in with the bench. So Jamal Shed, Jacoby Walter, maybe CMB. And then I
Yeah.
would have Brandon Ingram and Jakob Pertl have that ability to sort of like, but I think the Raptors are really wanting to tether Sandro's minutes to CMB
Yeah.
because like they think that those two have like really good synergy together. So we'll see what happens, man. Anyways, man, thanks for calling in. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah. I just wanted to give my final thoughts on this game tonight. Um,
Sure.
I just wanted to say that I am convinced that Keita was for Toronto there tonight, the way that he sold the last few possessions that he had the ball. But like in all seriousness, I think that
Oh,
it's
you
going to
you
be
mean
very
like
hard,
he was pulling a Jonte Porter?
possibly.
Oh
I
dear
just think
God.
it's going to be very hard for Bobby Webster to figure out which of these guys that um, played tonight, which are worth keeping and which he needs to get rid of, because I think a lot of them played really well tonight and showcased why they deserve to be on this roster. So
Well,
I wish
that's
good
what
luck to
that's what the
Bobby
G League
Webster.
is for. That's what the G League is for. So, hopefully a few of these guys, even if they don't make the main roster, they'll end up in the G League, and who knows, man? Maybe we can develop some G League players, and I'm sure Mobo, I'm sure Elijah Martin, Chucky Hepburn, all these guys, they're going to get some run in the G League. You got 20 players, 21 players on the roster right now. You're going to have to cut it down to 18, probably 17, because I don't think the Raptors are carrying a 15th roster spot going into the season. So you're going to cut 4 guys. And personally, after tonight, I'm feeling really nauseous about cutting Jared Rhoden. Yeah, I really don't want to do it. Yeah. All right,
also,
man.
last point. I figure out how to subscribe to your members. I am a member now officially. So.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
see that. I see that here. Nolan became a YouTube member. Thank you so much.
You're
and
welcome.
Shout outs to you. Thank you.
Oh,
all
thank
right,
you.
man.
Well, have a good night, Rob.
Good night. Okay, so we got some call-ins. That's great. I'm suspecting that when a few people, I'm going to assume a lot of people probably tuned out of this game and didn't watch it and are now, maybe just saying like, is it really worth watching it? Is it worth going back and watching it? Is it worth the hype? Is it worth what this guy on the internet is saying? That it was just so cool. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not to you. But to me, watching people play really hard is a very good thing. Watching people play selfless basketball is a really good thing. There was no stat padding tonight. There's no stat padding tonight. There was no selfish basketball tonight. Mistakes were made, sure. The team got down big. They didn't play perfect basketball. I know that. But man, like there was some really, really good basketball tonight. And I think when people play hard, you gotta appreciate it, especially if you've ever played sports your whole life. Like if you've played sports at any point in your life, really, you gotta have a little bit of appreciation for people who just go out and play hard, man. And I think this city, knowing what I know about this city, being a hockey, type of town, how much this city has supported guys like Pops Mensah-Bonsu, Serge Ibaka, how much they supported Jerome Williams, how much they supported like hard-nosed, lunch pail guys, Charles Oakley, Antonio Davis in years past, Morris Peterson to some extent, like scrappy defenders. I feel like this is such a Toronto game. You know what I mean? This is such a grit and grind, rip and what was it? Rip and run Raptors. This is such a rip and run Raptors game. And it is such a quintessential like Toronto game. Like I feel like if the Toronto Maple Leafs were in the audience, they'd be like up and really excited. And it was kind of cool, like the crowd was very dead. I had a friend who went tonight and at halftime they said, I'm thinking about leaving. And I was like, no, you should stay. Like you paid, you should stay. And they texted me back like right around the fourth quarter, like 2 minutes, and they said, I'm so glad I stayed. I'm so glad I stayed. Like everyone was up on their feet. Yeah, the fans, it was like half empty. I get that. We could see it on the TV. A lot of people heard Ingram's not playing, Barnes not playing. I'm not going. But let this be a reminder to you that this team is deep. And if you want like the coolest thing about tonight for me, apart from the play on the court, obviously the play on the court, was how happy you had guys like Ingram, Scotty, IQ, RJ on the bench. And they were up, man. They were up. Scotty didn't sit down the whole game, just so y'all know. Like, dude was up on his feet the whole game, yelling at his teammates. Really love this team. Really love this team. Sorry to get all sentimental, but it's just basketball. I get it. But I watched this team like play like selfish basketball for a really long time. And it reminded me not to take it for granted when they stopped doing it. So it's really great to see that. And it's great to have like leaders who actually give a shit. And I'm sure that it feels really nice if you're Chucky Hepburn. And I'm sure that it helps if you're Chucky Hepburn when, you make this big play and you look back and there's Brandon Ingram saluting you, because he's a fucking all-star. And then there's Scotty Barnes up on his feet, like, riding a lasso. And you're just like, I'm Chucky Hepburn. That's Scotty Barnes. That's Brandon Ingram. And they're up on their feet supporting me in a preseason game. And we're down 10. I don't know if you're one of those people that believes that the small things count, but they really count, man. Salute to the Toronto Raptors. Big, big win. Also, if you didn't happen to check it out, I released a video on Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes, and it's a really cool one. here's a little preview of it for you. Ingram dominated the Sacramento Kings, and through 2 preseason games, he scored a whopping 33 points in just 31 minutes. Damn, the audio is really loud. Whoops. Anyways, that video is now out. It's not very long. It's about 5 minutes long. It's a cool little video. Breaks down a little bit of what the Raptors expect to do with Brandon Ingram and the promise of Ingram and the theory of Ingram, etc. But overall, great game for the Toronto Raptors. I'll see y'all this weekend. We'll do a live probably Sunday. I think this would be a good time to start doing our members only lives. I did promise that we were going to do this, so let me just pull this up for a second. So this is how you sign up, and our VIP. So the Sunday show access. So we will start doing our Sunday shows this week. I'm gonna lock in. The season hasn't officially started, so yes, I could milk this for like a couple of more weeks, but let's do that. Let's do Sunday show, and basically what the Sunday show entails is an analytics breakdown of the season so far, like of the week so far, a little bit of a tour around the NBA, whatever's happening around the basketball world, and maybe even a chance to talk about some other teams that I don't really have a chance to talk about with the Raptors. Alrighty, I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Have a wonderful night. Big win, Raptors. Bye-bye.